Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have another little product review for you. This time the guys over at VDIAGTOOL have very kindly sent me out their D200, a Bluetooth OBD2 scanner. Let's get it out of the box and let's see what it looks like. So first off, comes in this nice hard kind of clamshell case. We open it up, we have got a USB lead in here, C to C, with an A to C adapter, and obviously the device in here in this nice little area. So there you go, fairly standard looking device, feels quite well made, quite a nice design. It has got a bit on the back where you can attach your USB lead, and I'll talk a little bit about that later on. But let's get it plugged in and let's see what it can do. Okay, so the OBD port on the BMW is down here by the driver's foot. We remove our little door to get access to it, and then we just plug it in and get a nice beep and a nice light to say that it's in. Okay, so with the device plugged in and the app open, first thing we're going to have a look in is this update section here. Now, this is basically where you can download all of your different softwares for your different models of cars. This tool supports thousands of cars, hundreds of different manufacturers. You basically go into here, search for what you want, and then you just hit download. So I've already done this beforehand, but you would go and search for BMW or Nissan there, Ford there, whatever one you'd want to go into, tap the button, hit the download button, and it will download for you. Like I said, we've already got BMW downloaded, so I'm going to go straight into auto scan and see what happens. So it's going to get my VIN for me. We're going to do automatic detection. It's figured out that I'm in my BMW X3, F25, correct year and everything. Okay. Does the thing that all diagnostic devices seem to do on a BMW, which is turn the engine off. And we're just going to do an automatic scan for this first attempt. So it's going to fly through here. It says it's going to check 22 modules. Within sort of 10-15 seconds, it's all done. You can tell I've got quite a few modules here with some issues, and obviously each one of those I could click on this little arrow. That will expand and it will show me exactly what those errors are. I guess I could click on each one of these where the little magnifying glass is, and it will take me off to Google and do a search for me, tell me exactly what it is. Got an interesting sort of intermittent issue where my headlight vertical aim every now and again pops up as an error code. From here, obviously, I'm going to each one individually. I can hit this little DTC list button down the bottom. It just lists them all out nicely for me. I can also generate a report from here as well, which is quite nice. So if I click on here, click preview, this will just give you an idea of what the report would look like. You can see exactly what it's done. Got a list of all the DTCs at the bottom. And I could save that, and I could obviously then share it with whoever I need to share it with. From here, obviously, I could click clear all DTCs. So let's try that. Some of them look to have disappeared. Oh, they're still disappearing. I guess it's now going to do another scan for me or something. It's cycled the ignition. Yep, let's come back with one fault remaining, which we know about. The transfer case, once you get above a certain amount of mileage, the transfer case flags up an error, basically that the oil is worn. So if you look at this one, the oil wear, if I Google that, it will probably tell me, yeah, over a certain amount of mileage, we get that error code. So obviously, as all of these tools do, very nice, quick, simple code scanning, code erasing, no dramas. So now, where some of these devices do differ is the ability to do live data reading. So what I'm going to do here is start the car quickly, and we will go into the engine control module, engine system, and we will say live data. Okay, straight away it's telling me there's 80 records. You can just see it at the bottom there. There's 80 different kind of points, I guess, that we can read from here. You can see right at the top there, engine speed, nice and easy. So it's on 780 at the minute. So if I just go and rev it a little bit, you see that go up and down. And it looks like from here as well, we can hit the little graph button. There we go, we see our revs basically on a graph, and obviously if I rev, it goes up. The other good thing on here as well is we've got recording. So we can hit record. You can see it's recording my little graph here now. Just rev it a few times. Then I will stop the recording. I will save it. And then I can watch it back. Oh, that's really quite cool actually. So I can hit play, yeah, there you go, and you can see exactly what the revs are doing for that little recording. So that's really cool. Got some different options on how we view that data as well. Now, what I want to check is this says it can graph up to 8 points at a time, which is quite a lot compared to some of the other kind of dongles in this kind of budget. So let's have a look at just a few here. So we'll get engine speed, we'll get coolant temperature, we'll get oil temperature, we will get, what else do we want? Environmental pressure, intake air temperature, that's always a good one to check. We'll get charge air temperature and boost pressure, why not? Right, so obviously from here I can graph each individual one. I'm guessing if we hit custom, okay, so that now filters our list down to just the ones we want to see, so that's a good start. Then we want to see them in a column. Nice, okay, just a different view of seeing it like that. That would actually be quite good to compare two values. We've also got them in individual graphs, interestingly, rather than combined on the same graph, but I guess that makes a bit more sense. Some of the ones where they combine the graphs and the scale is so different can be a little bit weird sometimes. So I'm not too mad at seeing it on different graphs like that. I actually kind of feel like that is a nicer view to compare two things. So for example, intake air temperature and charge air temperature, you can see that obviously the charge cooler or whatever is doing its job. I guess from here as well we can do data recording. Yes, we can. So again, it'll just record this as we go. I'll just give it a little rev, the engine speed rises and falls, and then we can stop that recording, and I guess we can watch it back. Yep, there you go, and you can see how I was revving up and down. Coolant temperature rised slightly. Everything else pretty much stayed static. Excellent. Okay, well I think that's pretty good. Pretty good for the live data side of things. Okay, so this is a bi-directional scanner. So what that means is I can actually perform some actuation tests from this device and make certain things happen. So, for example, if we were to go into this footwell module, which controls a lot of stuff, and we go into actuator tests, we can see a load of different options in here first off, but let's take a look at power window function. Now, something like this is really good for simple diagnosis. So for example, if my window wasn't working, there could be an issue with a fuse, could be an issue with a switch, or it could be an issue with the motor itself. Now obviously to test that motor, I would need to take off the door card, put some power to the motor and that kind of stuff. Be a bit of a pain, right? What I can actually do from here, hopefully, is say open driver side, power window function. We hit go, and there we go. So just by doing that, we've diagnosed that the motor is absolutely fine. So for whatever reason, if this wasn't working, but it worked through here, we would now probably be able to say it's probably the switch. We know that the fuse is fine, we know the motor's getting power, but it's probably an issue with that switch. While we're here, we can see if we can close it. And there we go. All done from the device. A real good tool there to help you with some simple diagnosis. Okay, one of the other actuation tests I like to show is the instrument cluster, because obviously this is an issue fairly close to my heart with the TTs and the old car, the Focus as well. The instrument cluster always used to play up a little bit. So something like this would have been great for testing out whether the actual rev counter is working or speedo or whatever it is, or whether it's somewhere else, or whether it's a sensor or something. So on the app, if I go into, they call it on here the combination meter for whatever reason. We go into actuation tests and we go into general. From here, you can see what I can test here. If we have a look at the rev counter, for example, this says it's going to go to approximately 3,000 RPM. So we hit go. So there we go. We've diagnosed that our rev counter, motor and everything is working fine. So if it's not working, there's obviously an issue with a sensor. What else have we got on here that we can try? Speed. See how fast we can go. 109 miles an hour. Go. Super fast. Not sure we've ever gone that fast in this car before. What else do we have? We have fuel gauge at 80%. It's probably not seen that before either. Let's try that one. There we go. Nice. And we have things like the turn signal indicators. So it says normal flashing or flashing to indicate a defect. So if we go normal flashing first, and we activate, yeah, it just sort of flashes like normal. And I guess if we do flashing to indicate defect, that might go a little bit faster. Yep, there you go. Excellent. Okay, the other actuation test I like to use is a real world example. Before an MOT or something, if you need to go and check your rear lights, rather than try and find a reflective surface or bring someone out of the house, you can go again into the body area, into footwell module, into actuation tests and exterior lights. And then this is obviously the front and the rear all in here together. So if we go for reverse lights, we'll turn them on. See that flash on, brilliant. What else do we have? Rear fog light. Turn that on for 10 seconds. There we go. We should have brake light. Turn that on for 10 seconds. There you go. And can we test indicators or hazard warning lights? That'll do. There you go, you can see them flashing. We also have the high level brake light, which I think I saw there, 2-stage brake light. So if we just move you up a little bit, we hit 2-stage brake light and go. Oh, there you go, it's flashing nicely. So yeah, just a few examples of how the actuation tests can actually be really useful in the real world. Now this tool also boasts over 26 maintenance functions or special functions. Again, you download each one that you want. So they're accessed through this nice little menu here. I've only downloaded 2 so far, but let's just quickly show you under the updates tab again. If we look under special functions, these are all the special functions that you have. So I'll just scroll through some of the ones that you can see here. So power balance, TPMS, injector coding, window initialization, you know, there's loads in here. Transport mode, that's a good one. Gearbox adaptation, coolant replacement, airbag resets, you know, there's loads, right? It's 26, well it says 29 at the top, so it says 26 plus on the box. So I guess that means 29. So let's go into our special functions, what we've got here. For example, we could go into oil reset. So this is due a service soon, for example. We can go into BMW, you can see I've downloaded it here. So again, it reads my VIN, makes me confirm that the car is what it thinks it is. Okay, so you can see my different options here for my service resets. So if I wanted to, I guess I could go into engine oil, continue. Perfect, so now it's back at 100%. It's going to give me another 120,000 odd warning or something. We will turn the car off and on again to confirm that. Okay, so lastly, I showed you right at the start that the device had a USB port in it. And the reason for that is that this actually supports the J2534 protocol, which I don't know a great deal about, but from what I understand, it just means that I can now use sort of full OEM dealer diagnostic tools and actually use this through this device. from the laptop through the cable, through the device, rather than having to go and buy a separate cable. So for example, the BMW ISTA program, if I had that on my laptop, I could use this tool now to talk to that. There is an additional charge for that. I think it's $200 or something, but again, I don't know a great deal about it. From what I understand, I think that's quite cheap. But yeah. So, in summary, would I recommend this device? Absolutely. It's performed faultlessly, I think, on the BMW so far. It's done everything I wanted it to do. Read out some of the features on the box here. So look, we've got the full sequence of diagnosis, obviously, bi-directional control, 26 plus special functions. The 8-in-1 live data capture graphing, that's really good. And like I said, the J2534 Pass-Thru as well. And obviously the app supports iOS and Android as well. So if you do want to get yourself one of these little dongles, I'm going to leave you a link in the description and a discount code. So thank you very much to the guys at VDIAGTOOL for that. And yeah, great. I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you very much.